Welcome back to the show, everybody. This is the Upper Tier Podcast, the football and pro wrestling podcast we bring you each and every week. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button, and most importantly, exit the chat, hit a like on the video, and back into the chat. That's what we really need. The likes are so important. Really, really important to us. Flying solo tonight. Obviously, Marky's busy again, so no hassle at all. Hopefully, he might be back next week where we round out the Christmas one with a bit of luck. Be great to have him back on, of course. But we have got a Premier League review for you. We're going to take a look at the Carabao Cup. What else have we got in there? We got some good stuff. We're going to talk about, obviously, the managerial sackings. Russell Martin and Gary O'Neill was inevitable. We've got a new lineup for next season for Match of the Day. We're going to be talking about some of the VAR decisions. Mainly, I looked at the Liverpool game. But you can throw into the chat any other ones that you want, if that is the case. But we'll start with, of course, very sad news reaching us over the last few days. Especially, I know a lot of you guys on here are darts fans as well. But sadly, Wayne Mardle, Hawaii 5-0, sadly lost his wife Donna the other day, 52 years of age, same age as myself. Very, very sad. No age to pass away. So our thoughts, prayers, and condolences go out to Hawaii 5-0, Wayne Mardle and the Mardle family, and of course the greater darts community and everything else. We know they're always very close with their partners and all. And Wayne's charm and witty grit and everything else will be sadly missed this year at the World Darts Championship. But of course, when something like this happens and so sudden as well, it's very, very sad, and you need that time and stuff like that. And that picture there in front of you can tell you the kind of marriage and relationship they had. I'd say they were two absolute jokers when they were out and stuff like that and all. And very sad news. So as I said, our thoughts and prayers go out to Wayne Mardle. I know a lot of you guys on the show and in the channel and subscribers and all your darts fans as well, especially Daz and the boys and myself and Mark and all. We talk about the darts all the time when we're on the shows and stuff like that as well. So there you go. So R.I.P. Donna Mardle, and our thoughts and prayers go out to Wayne and his family. As always, folks, just to highlight as well what our marquees here are not Hogan Trophy here are the sponsors for the Monday mashup for this season. So if you head over to Facebook or Instagram, give Mark a follow, a like, whatever it is, whatever you want to do and stuff like that. And you can see these beautiful trophies and stuff like that and how they light up on the occasion. And if you have a special occasion coming, we tell you every Monday, if you need to hire out the trophies, get in touch with Mark. Let them know you're a follower. Let them know you're a subscriber. Let them know you're part of this upper tier community. And Mark will look after you for that special event, be it a birthday, communion, confirmation, whatever it is. If you see the reaction of the kids when they see these trophies, it's amazing, especially when they hoist that Premier League one and all. It's really, really cool. So Hogan Elite Trophy here on Facebook and Instagram. Make sure you're over there supporting Marky as he sponsors the show every Monday here and is normally here with me as my co-host. Right, and else before we get in now, I think that's all the housekeeping. So right, let's get into our Premier League review. Where do we begin? Arsenal versus Everton 0-0. Hard to know what's going on at Arsenal, isn't it? Like, for you look at the last 2 years, they've been quite free-flowing, scoring goals. Have really pushed Man City over the last 2 seasons, but really, really struggling this year in front of goal. And it seems to be a change in Arteta's mentality and a change in defensively and stuff, how they set up and stuff like that. They rely on a lot of set pieces. They rely on a lot of corners. They have been scoring goals recently from open play. But unless Bukayo Saka's on it and unless Odegaard's on it, it's pretty blunt out there, isn't it? Trossard, a pale reflection of the Brighton Trossard at the moment. Martinelli looks like he's way lost his confidence and stuff like that. He's nowhere near the Martinelli of at least 2 seasons ago. And goals have dried up a little bit in terms of when you're playing a team like Everton, Sean Dyche, who's set up really, really solid at times. And you see it even when we've played them at times. You don't score an awful lot off corners. You don't score an awful lot off set piece against everyone. They're quite solid and big at the back and stuff like that. No, so you have less opportunity then if you're Arsenal, and that's where your reliance. If your reliance on Gabriel or Saliba or a set piece like that to score a goal and try and win a match, Very difficult against an Everton side. They make it really, really difficult the way Dice sets them up and stuff like that. And they have big guys in there that can handle that kind of pressure of balls into the box now. So ran out 0-0. Arsenal will be very disappointed in that because obviously they had an opportunity on 2 occasions now to close the gap, both the Newcastle game and the Everton game. The Newcastle game and the Fulham game that we had, they had 2 opportunities and didn't take advantage. So the gap kind of remains the same if you take into account kind of the game in hand and stuff like that. And they would have been buoyed by the news that obviously Andy Robinson got sent off for Liverpool, and that Liverpool twice went behind and twice came from behind to get a draw. And we'll talk about that game next, obviously. But disappointing from Arsenal. I'd say they just can't believe it. They're probably shell-shocked. Man City so bad. We'll talk about the City game, the Manchester Derby as well. But Man City so bad. And having an opportunity, this would be the opportunity this year to win the league, to push it through and win the Premier League. And the drop-off has been sensational. So we shall see. Moving on, Liverpool 2, Fulham 2. This is really a game. This is the absolutely epitome of really, really poor officiating. And I'm not blaming it on, just that as well, but it's just really, really, really poor. And I think if you're a referee in training or you're someone down in the FA getting referee training and stuff like that, they should show them this game as a way not to officiate a game. Really, really poor. 2-2 on the day. Pereira scoring after 11 minutes. Pereira shouldn't have even been on the pitch. Definitely a red card. And I think the G-up one as well on Andy Robinson where he caught him at the knee. They're talking about catching someone high, talking about endangering a player, talking about dangerous play. It encapsulated all of that, you know what I mean? So in reality, before Robbo even got sent off, Pereira should have been off, and so should G-up. And I don't think there's any debate about that. When you see the pictures, it's very, very clear and stuff like that. No debate about the Robinson one. There might be a slight debate about whether the player had the ball within his control at the time and stuff like that and all. But to be honest with you, they're generally a red card. I don't have an issue with that. What I do have an issue with is, of course, the other 2 players and stuff like that. I think all 3 were worthy of red cards, to be honest. And I think when you look at the images, and we quickly go to the image, I have them snapped here. Try and tell me how neither of these are red cards. Just look at where he caught Robbo. Look exactly where he caught Robbo. So it was absolutely crazy. There was outrage. Ian in the chat there. There was outrage. There was absolute outrage when Palmer's knee as well. That was crazy as well. Go back and look at our WhatsApp group. We were calling for it. But I just think on these 2 occasions, I think it's like if you look at that one on Pereira and then Pereira goes on, scores the goal on 11 minutes. Gakpo on 47 then equalises up when he came on. Jota on 86, Munoz on 76. I think second half, I think Slot just looked at it and he said, listen, we're going to go for this. It's time to go for this. We can't hold back anymore. And he actually went for it. And when we actually went for it, we looked really, really well. Not you, Niall, United fans, including Dazzler, said it wasn't a red. I don't know. I think, look, I think when you look at those, look at those 2 there. I think when you're talking about like that one there is absolutely no intention to play the ball. He's going right down above the ankle. Now, we've seen Curtis Jones sent off for this sort of thing. We've seen issues with other players getting sent off for this sort of thing. So it's absolutely crazy. And that one up there, that Jab one, only because it's early in the game, I think the ref bottled the decision. But absolutely, that one there, that top one there where he takes Robbo out, is just clearly big up being out there. Clear reds for Fulham, to be fair. Absolutely. And I have no argument at all with the Robbo one at all. Last man, a couple of people were arguing about whether the player was in control of the ball fully in terms of a red card, but I have no issue about it. Last man, red card. But it's just, if you're going to wave the red on that, you're going to wave the red on the others as well. Right, let's get into it then. Newcastle up next. Newcastle 4 went on a mad one against Leicester. Real picking up his first loss as Leicester manager after a good start with a draw and a win. Jacob Murphy with a number of chances, and this 4-0 really didn't really tell the tale of the game at all. Murphy missed a glut of chances. Isaac had a bunch of chances as well. And Bruno Guimaraes. And there was talk Bruno Guimaraes as well, probably lucky to have stayed on the pitch as well. Probably thought that could have been a red as well. Haven't they brought in this excessive force thing? I don't know. Excessive force now, Ian, is now known as a coming together, isn't it? It's now known as a coming together, apparently. Crazy. But 4-0 to Newcastle, back on track. Big win against Leicester. Was going to happen anyway. I don't think it was going to be any other result. Wolves 1, Ipswich 2. Doherty with an OG on 15. Obviously, the sending off for Wolves was crazy right at the end. Aït-Nouri getting sent off after the game, basically. An absolute melee at the end of the game as well for Wolves. Didn't look like Gary O'Neill has his players in control. What I would say about this game is, and I know we'll talk about Gary O'Neill's dismissal shortly, sacked as manager of Wolves. Wolves were really, really good in this game. They had a lot of chances to score, created a lot of opportunities. Cunha's goal was a beautiful goal, it was a sublime finish. But there was plenty of chances. Wolves could have won this 3-4-2, no problem. And I think probably because of all the other results and that little bit of detachment at the bottom, I think it was difficult for Gary to stay. But I also think as well, they've kind of done him a disservice as well, where they haven't really replaced players that they've taken out of that team. So he hasn't been really given the support. And I kind of, if you look at his post-match interview, he was kind of saying that. He was saying, look, we're at a certain level here. We're trying to cope at this level. It's really, really difficult. I think what he was really saying, I think it was a joy at the board, basically, like, you know, you stuck me with fuck all and you're expecting this. And I think once that happens, then there's only one outcome. And I know Wolves fans will come on and they'll say, yeah, but look at the results and stuff like that. Wolves have been very unlucky this season as well. At times they've played really, really well and they just haven't got the rewards. And this game was typical of it. Taylor on 90+4 with that header to seal the win for Ipswich. You could see how excited Kieran McKenna was. He couldn't believe it, his interview after the game and all. And he did make the point that a couple of times they had been done as well like this and all, and it's tough and all. But he said he'd savour this one and all. But, you know, hats off to Gary O'Neill. Really, really tough. We don't like to see guys lose their jobs, especially good coaches like Gary O'Neill. Gary O'Neill's a really, really good coach. And but it's such a difficult job there when you lose that level of players. You go back and you go down through the list of players that have left Wolves. Absolutely massive, key, big players and stuff like that. And also, tough day at the office, and unfortunately, Gary losing his job. But Gary will be back on the wagon. Gary will be back managing no time at all. And then we rounded out with Nottingham Forest 2, Aston Villa 1. And again, we spoke about this on the Thursday Tier Talk, didn't we? Darren turned around and we said, could Nottingham Forest have an opportunity here? Villa with the European Premier League balance conundrum that they still can't find. That's a big win for Nottingham Forest. I think shooting them up into third, I think it is. Doing really, really well. Duran opened up the scoring for Aston Villa, and he must have thought, God, they're on the way here. Of that. And it was Duran's start. He started as well. Milenkovic, who we spoke about on 87, who's having a fabulous season for Nottingham Forest. And Elanga on 90+3 getting the winner. Two really, really good goals after Emi Martinez had been quite busy and made some good saves. But really lucky, these two were just unstoppable, to be honest. He ended up in the back of the net as far as I know it won them. Massive 3 points for Nottingham Forest. Disappointing for Aston Villa. But we roll on, and that's the way it goes. Moving into Sunday, what a feast of football we had on Sunday. Starting off, no less, Brighton 1, Crystal Palace 3. And you look back at this game, Gahey with an OG as well. And funny enough, it's really weird, these conversations we're having with Darren and stuff on Thursday, because on Thursday, Darren was talking about Gahey and how good he's been. And I said, he's coughed up a few goals and a few OGs. And there he goes, another OG again. But Brighton 1, Crystal Palace 3. Trevor Chalobah, who Wayne in the chat would know well, having a real good time down there at Crystal Palace. Now that they've kind of found a formula under Glasner, they're starting to look really, really good. On 27 with the equaliser. Sarr on 33 to make it 2-1. And then on 82 to seal the deal. Palace with a lot of chances. Wheels slightly coming off at Brighton. Fabian Herzer has had a brilliant start to the season and stuff like that and all, but just getting a little bit rattly there. A few nuts on those wheels, getting a little bit loose there. and just struggling just a little bit at times. But a massive win for Crystal Palace and a massive 3 points. Then we get into the derby, Manchester derby. Manchester City won, mere minutes away from sealing the deal. Up steps Ahmad into the box, gets absolutely cleaned out by Mateus Nunes. I don't know what he was thinking. Very clever from Ahmad. And then our WhatsApp group, Ian, to tell you, we were talking about Ahmad throughout the game, the energy that he brings, and such a good, tidy little player he is. Such a clever little player for his age as well. He's seen Mateus Nunes coming, and he stepped right into his path to hit him as well, to pull the penalty and stuff like that. Got the penalty. Bruno dispatched it. Lovely penalty, making it 1-1. And they were thinking, right, 1-1, this is going to be fine. Not a problem at all. We'll take a point each. And the next thing, ball breaks to Diallo, flips it over Ederson, and from a tight angle, puts it in. Josko Vardiol, I wasn't sure what he was trying to do there. Why would you be trying to backheel that out when you have an opportunity just to wrap your right foot around it and just clear it out for a corner or whatever it is? But seemed to step over it to clear it with a back kick and absolutely missed the ball, and the ball just rolls into the far corner. 2-1 to United, now coming back on the 90th minute. Pep with his hands in his head, tearing the head off himself like Hellraiser or something like that, has no answer at the moment to this. City, 1 win in 11. He's in there, yeah, quality player, isn't he? Looks like a real quality player. But 1 win in 11 now for Man City. Really, really big problems there. Really nothing coming. Haaland yesterday, anonymous. Kevin De Bruyne looking a pale shadow of himself. You look at Doku, lots of energy, lots of movement, no final product. Grealish came on, really didn't impact the game. You look on the other side, then you have Bernardo Silva. Again, looks like he should have taken that move to PSG or whatever it was that he wanted. And again, the midfield. And you look at City and the reliance on Josko Vardiol and Kovacic and players like this, when you've got all these other players just not performing, he cannot get a tune out of them. Has he lost the locker room? That is the question really at City, you know what I mean? And you think about that 1 win in 11. There's managers right now in the Premier League getting sacked for less. And I know Pep obviously has the credit with everything he's won over the last few years and everything else with Man City and all. So literally, but it's crazy times at Man City. I wonder, does he regret signing the extension, or does the extension look like it was the guarantee in case things went south? Did he foresee this? Rodri, a massive loss and stuff like that. But listen, we're all dealing with injuries. We had a glut of injuries the other day. Arsenal's dealing with injuries. Chelsea's dealing with injuries. We're all dealing with injuries. But Man City, for one reason or another, they can't seem to get over this mental block of this whole Rodri thing. It's crazy. My man is in the chat. Where have you been, buddy? How are you? Kyle Walsh Gunner, the volcano, in the chat. Niall, big up, bro. It's been a long time. It has. The missus had a stroke. Sad to hear that. Sorry, Kyle. Hope everything is okay. After going through a hard time, but she's getting back to her best, thank God. Brilliant. Niall has told you, bro. Arteta may go, bro. Absolutely. Kyle, let me know if you want to do a bit of content. We jump on together at some stage going forward or something like that. But absolutely delighted to hear she's on the mend and stuff like that. Very sad to hear that. But thank God it's all good, bro. But if you need that, you need to reach out, you need to chat. Kyle, you know where I am. You know where I am, bro. Pep literally does not know how to get back to basics at the moment. It's crazy, isn't it? And it's mad. And you think the worst of this, Ian, as well, is he found a formula against Nottingham Forest. And we all know Nottingham Forest are not easy to beat by any stretch of the imagination. But he found a formula to beat Nottingham Forest. And what does he go? Goes into the next game, changes it all again. What's that about? What's that about when you're under that kind of pressure? Enjoyed Ring of Honor, Kevin staying package pile driver. Yeah, we're going to be talking about that tomorrow night. That was crazy, wasn't it? And then the bust up with Triple H after. The volcano is in the house. Acer's my man. Absolutely. So there we go. So Man United 2-1 to get the bragging rights. Manchester is red. God. Who would have thought it? Then we get on to Chelsea 2, Brentford 1. Really, really good game. I really enjoyed this game. I thought Brentford started out the first half maybe a little bit hesitant and a little bit careful. I think in the second half when it opened up, it was really good. Cucurella on 43. That boy with a header. Where did that come from? Absolutely brilliant. And Jackson on 80, what a finish. What a player Jackson is turning into. We all laughed at him last season, didn't we? But we knew. I spoke to Ian a few times on this, and I said, there's a player in there. There is a player in there. And I think Darren said it as well. But look at him now, absolutely flying. 2-1. And Buemo with the goal on 90. They just didn't have enough time to get back into it. They huffed and they puffed and they tried, but Chelsea held out. Bit of a bust up at the end of it as well. And I think Cucurella ended up saying red. Again, another one kind of after the fact that could have been avoided. Cucurella a little hired. So hopefully that doesn't come back to hurt Chelsea, especially with some of the injuries they're carrying in those key areas and stuff like that as well. But looking really, really good, Chelsea, aren't they, under Maresca? And now Chelsea with an opportunity. If they beat Everton next weekend, they go top. And then we play after that game. So it's going to be a heck of a title race. A lot of history between Liverpool and Chelsea over the last few years, between domestic cups and everything else. So really looking forward to that kind of battle. But a big win for Chelsea, and you could see afterwards how happy they were. You see Maresca celebrating and all, and really, really good. And his man management is really good as well, because you only remember last week or during the week, was it? When Jackson got hooked, Jackson was really upset and disappointed over it. And he came over and he put an arm around him and he had a chat with him and stuff like that. Very, very impressed with Maresca this year. I have to say, and I'll go on saying it if you look at the podcast and stuff like that, I said that it would take Chelsea 12 to 15 games to figure things out. Maresca's been electric. He's been electric, you have to say. Coyle. Niall, please, I'd love to jump on, mate. Whenever suits you, okay? We have a lot to talk about. You let me know, bro. I will. I'll let you know, Coyle. What we'll do is, Coyle, do you know what we might do? Next Monday, if you're free, what we'll do is we're going to do a Monday mashup right before Christmas. Might get yourself and Dell on. Dell's in the chat there as well if you're on. We'll have a good chat and a bit of cracking. Have an old drink, an old Christmas drink or whatever. Big up, Dell. Loving Dell. I have to say, I'm loving the van videos at the moment. They're absolutely quality. Real, real good. I tune in for them. Keep them going because I do tune in for them. Really, really good. Big up, Dell boy, the legend. We are not in a title race. Give over. What do you mean you're not in a title race? You're 100% in a title race. You could be top of the league this weekend. You're 100% in a title race. You're more in a title race than every other club in London. I can tell you that much. Big up Acers and Coyle, absolutely. Chelsea versus Shamrock Rovers on Thursday night. That's not this Thursday, is it? Have you not got Carabao Cup? Unless they're not involved. It's not this Thursday. It's probably... Is it this Thursday? Maybe. I don't know. I haven't looked at it. I didn't think to be any on with that. Thanks, Noel. Yeah, Del. Quality. We'll definitely jump on next Monday. No, I can't wait. I'll send you all out the links. We'll set up the show. We'll do like a Christmassy one. Take a look back at the first half of the season and stuff. Have a bit of crack. All we can do, Coyle, isn't it? It's therapy. You know what I mean? It's therapy. And then we round it out. With Spurs beating Southampton 5-0, ultimately costing Russell Martin his job. But I think he was kind of a dead man walking anyway. Maddison picking up a brace, scoring in the first goal and in added on time in the half. Son on 12, Kulishevsky on 14 and Sarr on 25. 5-0, didn't tell the tale of the game. Could have scored an absolute bag load. Took the foot off the accelerator at times. Tottenham, no surprise. A lot of pressure there on Ange as well. He's been talk of Ange that if this hadn't gone the right way and all, maybe he would have been the guy under the spotlight and probably still is. Obviously going to Southampton. Southampton really poor at the moment. We're facing them on Wednesday at 8 o'clock. Carabao Cup quarter final. Interesting to see who goes in charge, and interesting to see do they get that new interim manager bounce or whatever it is, and who they field and who we field and all that kind of stuff should be influenced. Conference League draw Friday morning. Yeah, we'll check that out as well. We'll be talking about it. But that rounds it out. So if you look at the moment, and this is Aino telling me now that he's not in a title race. We have Liverpool, 36 points with a game in hand. Chelsea, 34. Arsenal, 30. Nottingham Forest, 28. Man City, 27. And Aston Villa, 25. But I just want to let you know, we'll keep you updated on tonight as well. Folks, Bournemouth versus West Ham. Bournemouth 0, West Ham 0. If Bournemouth win tonight, I think from what I read and what I seen, let me double check it here on the live table. If Bournemouth win tonight by 2 goals or no, if Bournemouth win tonight by 2 goals or 2 goals or more, they jump above Aston Villa and Man City. They're already above Aston Villa now on goal difference, but if they put a few goals in there and they beat West Ham tonight at home, they go above Man City. Your top five would then be Liverpool, Chelsea, Arsenal, Nottingham Forest, and Bournemouth. Who would have thought it? Who would have thought it? Absolutely unbelievable. You don't be shying away from this now, you know. Title race. There's no escape. There is no escape. Let's have a chat about these two boys. Russell Martin, I think the writing was on the wall. I don't think there was any escape. Getting detached there now, down at the bottom of the table and all, and doesn't look like where's the next point and win going to come from and stuff like that and all. Kind of huffing and puffing. Kind of in a similar vein to Wolves as well. Got rid of a lot of really, really good players and really just haven't replaced them at any level at all. And kind of conceded the fact that probably going to go out of division. Wolves, I think, have a bit more about them. But I think just results haven't gone their way. And we know it's a results business. I'm a big fan of Gary O'Neill. And just a conundrum on this, folks, right? On December the 15th, Gary O'Neill got sacked from Wolves. I think on December the 8th or the 9th, Gary O'Neill was nominated as one of 3 managers for Manager of the Month in November. Explain that to me. It was Gary O'Neill, Fabian Hutzler, as far as I know, and Arne Slot. Now, we knew Arne Slot was going to win it. He had an unbelievable November. So there was no competition there. But Gary O'Neill, on the 8th of December, I think it was nominated for one of the managers of the month for November. And on the 15th of December, he's sacked by Wolves. Let that sink in. Let that sink in. Let me know what you think. Here we have a little post from Rasmus Hoyland, which I thought was quite entertaining, in fairness. They're calling out Kyle Walker, but who wins the Oscar? I thought was absolutely hilarious. I don't know. I think if players go down like that and VAR shows that there was nothing in this, it shouldn't be a yellow. They should stamp it out. It should be a red. Kyle Walker should be ashamed of himself tonight. I know he's a lot going on the pitch and off the pitch. And his career is kind of unwinding and stuff like that. I know there's a lot of tension there at the moment, Man City. These players are not used to this situation at the moment. But to go down like that is absolutely shambolic. It's an embarrassment to him, his club, his teammates, and his manager. And really, really bad. And the fact that it was only a yellow, that sort of carry-on should carry a red. It really, really should. Embarrassing at every level. But there you go. Next up, match of the day, folks, where most of us years ago, before there was ever Sky Sports and all this kind of stuff, this is where we got our football, isn't it? Especially if you're of an age similar to myself and stuff like that. But we have a new lineup for next season. Gary Lineker exiting the building, as we know. And this is your new lineup. Gabby Logan, Chapman, and Kelly Cates, who we would know as, of course, Kelly Dalglish, her dad, King Kenny, of course. This is your new lineup. Chapman, Gabby Logan, and Kelly Cates, formerly Kelly Dalglish, is your new lineup for Match of the Day. What do you think? A lot of people going in this. There was a lot of commentary on this going about how this is a kind of this woke setup and stuff like that. But both these girls have had a long, long time and a lot of history in football and stuff like that. You know, Kelly has been around football since she was a baby and all, with Kenny and all. But she's also spent an awful lot of time on telly as well, covering football and all. In terms of Gabby Logan, I think she's 20 years now, I think, on telly covering football from various different things and stuff like that and all. Eno's in, he's saying, wokeness is alive and well, ship panel. Who did we want? Who did we want as Match of the Day? Or who did you guys in the chat want? Who did you want as your Match of the Day? It's weird kind of having a 3-panel that kind of rotates as well. But who was the guy to replace Lineker? I wonder. Who would have been your choice? I did also read today as well, and it did warm my heart, that Jeff Stelling is going to be covering the game, I think, during the week. Is he covering the Spurs game, is it? Let me check that. I think he's going to be covering the Spurs game on Thursday night, Jeff Stelling. And who is his partner in the studio? From what I read, one Cammy, Chris Kamara, getting back on the horse again and back in the game. So really, really cool. And I'm really looking forward to that. And it should be really, really cool to have Jeff and Cammy back together again. It's going to be a sight, to say the least. So looking forward to it. They have been in football, yes, but are they best qualified to comment on the men's game out of all the ex-players around? I don't mind a female presenter, to be fair, if that's what's happening. Yeah, it's hard. It's a difficult one to call. And you see a lot of them at the moment are kind of contracted to Sky, aren't they, and BT and stuff like that and all. But it's just trying to figure out who would be the ideal host for the match of the day. Who would you have wanted when you heard Gary Lineker was gone? Who popped into your mind that you would want on there as the actual host? Who was that name? Ship panel for me. Keep women talking about women's football and men talking about men's football. Simple. Cool. Shots fired, Kyle. Shots fired. Love it. Yeah, but it's who you actually. Let me know who you wanted in the panel. Would be interesting to hear. Dalglish as a host is all good. Or Laura Woods. Yeah, Laura's good. I think Laura's after. Did I see Laura signed a new contract somewhere? Thought I seen something. I'm not too sure. Remember when Alex Ferguson told Kelly Cates to get lost after winning the Champions League final in Moscow? Yeah, I do. I remember it well. Yeah, obviously with the connections, no surprise either. Right, let's talk Carabao Cup week this week. Wednesday, we got a glut of football. We got Arsenal versus Crystal Palace, Newcastle United versus Brentford, Southampton versus Liverpool, and then Thursday we have Spurs versus Man United. That's your quarter final. Give it to Roy Keane. I don't know would Roy Keane work as a host. I think Roy Keane's one of those guys he's that guy at a comedy show that wants to sit in the crowd and throw the jabs and the jives. I don't know whether he's the guy who wants to be center stage and be the comedian. So I don't know whether Roy is a host, because Roy really struggles at times with being impartial. Now he drops some brilliant one-liners and stuff like that and all, but I think he really struggles with being impartial. Having said that, he does give United a lot of stick at times and stuff like that, but I think at times he struggles. Gary O'Neill linked with the Southampton job. I'm not surprised. Gary O'Neill is not a bad coach, not by any stretch. Just because it didn't happen at Wolves. Look at what Gary O'Neill did at Bournemouth and everything and all. He is a really, really good coach. Now listen, I don't know whether he's a lot to work with there, Southampton, or whether Southampton are promising maybe they can spend a few quid in January. I don't know. But I don't think that Southampton squad as it stands right now is not good. It's not good enough to stay in the Premier League. And maybe that's the case. Maybe that's what they're planning. Maybe they're planning on bringing Gary in. And maybe they're planning for life in a different division, as they say. Let's see. Give Arteta the Southampton job with the love of God. Kyle, based on the new contract you gave him, I don't think they could afford him somehow. I think they'd struggle with the financials more than anything. Real difficult at the moment. What's your predictions for this one? Where are we going with this one? Arsenal versus Crystal Palace. It's going to be a tough game. Because I think, are Arsenal going to rotate on this? Or are Arsenal looking at the league now, looking at the Champions League and thinking this is a good opportunity for silverware here? Will they go strong? Let us know in the comments, folks. Eddie and Kedia reunion. Can you imagine Eddie and Kedia getting the winner on Wednesday night? There will be, the polls will melt if that happens. Absolutely ridiculous contract. Award and failure. It was massive, wasn't it? It was massive. And he held them over a barrel as well. But let us know your thoughts if you're in there, Coyle and Dale. What do you think Wednesday night? Will Arsenal go strong? try and put this bit of silverware in the cabinet to ease some of the pressure on the club at the moment. Crystal Palace, I know, will probably go strong because I don't think Glasner has a whole lot to kind of work with and rotate with. I think he'll just put out his team as he does. But it's a big game at the Emirates. Think of Arsenal. Arsenal probably in the same boat as well. They probably can't rotate a whole lot, can they? A lot of injuries there at the moment and stuff at the moment. Palace are going through because all Arteta does is throws. Excuse me, throws cups away. I don't think he'll get away with that this year, Kyle, though, would he? I don't think he'll get away with it. What's the biggest issue, Kyle? Like, like he won't play Tierney because he wants to sell him, is it? He won't play Tierney because he wants to sell him in January. But yeah, he's probably the best left back at the club. And then he's having to kind of mismatch around at the back to accommodate the other players because he won't play Tierney. So it's kind of a stubbornness, isn't it, really, that's going to be his undoing, really, you know? Crazy. A lot of monkeys there at the minute, man. Yeah, absolutely. Paying for peanuts. Absolutely. But let's see what happens. Arsenal versus Crystal Palace. I think Arsenal will put out strong this Wednesday, and I think they'll go through. Newcastle versus Brentford. Very, very interesting game. Again, Eddie Howe, he'll want that taste of silverware after being unlucky against United and stuff like that. And I have to say, the Carabao Cup, for the way people talk about it and disrespect it and stuff like that, I always really look forward to in February. It's a great final and stuff like that. He's a narcissistic prick. Josh Kroenke was at the Emirates on Saturday for Everton game. He was fuming. I'd say so. A lot going on there at the moment. A lot going on there that isn't there. That isn't right. Weird formations, weird selections, weird kind of patterns of play. Just weird all around. Newcastle United versus Brentford. I'm thinking this is going to be the upset of the quarterfinals. So I'm going to go with Arsenal and I'm going to go with Brentford. Let us know what you guys think in the chat as well. What's your picks for this quarterfinal? I think Liverpool will beat Southampton. I think Slot won't go. He'll make a few changes, but he won't go crazy. Obviously, big game coming up at the weekend. But I think we'll have enough to beat Southampton down there. They're just poor. Like, I don't know whether Southampton will make changes. I don't even know who they're going to have appointed. Who's going to be there? They'll hardly have Gary O'Neill in time for Wednesday, would they? And then we rounded out with Tottenham versus Manchester United at the New White Hart Lane. Tottenham coming in on the back of that big win against Southampton. Stumbled a bit prior to that. Draw against Rangers, wasn't it? Loss against Ipswich and various things like that. Manchester and United be buoyed by the win in the derby. Tottenham versus United. Penos? What do you think? Penos. Let me know what you think. Penos for that one, I think. Acers, Arsenal and Newcastle, Liverpool and Tottenham. Arsenal, Newcastle. So you're not expecting, you're going with the form. There's no upset. There's no upset as far as you're concerned. I don't know. That Newcastle Brentford game. Don't know. No, there's trouble in the camp. I've been told by a contact. His brother works at the club. I'm telling you, we have not seen anything yet. Interesting. I heard you talking about that, Del. Weren't you talking about, or sorry, Kyle, weren't you talking about that on one of Del's shows? That you had been told by a contact at the club and stuff like that there's issues and stuff like that. So interesting. Be interesting to see. And generally speaking, Kyle, most of your information's been good all along and stuff like that. So it's going to be interesting. Doesn't sit right at the moment. Philip, how are you? Hi, Niall. I see you are early for a change. Where's Mark tonight? Mark is caught up again. He's dealing with some stuff, but he'll hopefully be back next Monday. We'll do the Christmas mashup then. I'm on. I came on at 8 o'clock. I said I'd start early because generally I do the shows at 9 to facilitate Mark, because Mark's coming home from work and stuff that, and on Thursday to facilitate Darren, because he kind of only finishes work at 7:30, 8 o'clock on a Thursday. So it gives the boys time to go home, get ready, have a bite, decompress from work and all that kind of stuff. So, but if the boys aren't available, there's no point in me hanging around till 9 o'clock waiting to do the show. That's why I bang it at 8 o'clock. Philip, let us know what's your picks for the Carabao Cup final or quarter final. Who's going through as well? Let us know what you think. if you've just joined us, because we're coming pretty close to the end of the show now. Also, let us know. Cheers, bro. Let us know as well what you think of the match of the day lineup, the new lineup that's going in there as well. And just for anyone who missed it at the start of the show, folks, really, really important. Hawaii 5-0, Wayne Mardle. We're all darts fans in here. We know when the darts starts is really when Christmas starts, isn't it? And unfortunately, Wayne Mardle lost his wife the other day, Donna Mardle, 52 years of age. You can see by the picture there, they had a fabulous marriage and everything else. Always very happy together. But our thoughts, prayers, and condolences go out to Wayne and the Mardle family and all. Very, very sad. Yeah, I know we're all darts fans. And I have to say, looking at the coverage of the darts so far, we miss his wit and his charm, don't we? We miss his wit and his charm already because he's not attending the championships, obviously so close to his wife passing. A horrible time of year as well, just before Christmas as well. It's really, really tough on the family and everything else. So once again, thoughts, prayers, and condolences go to Wayne and the family. In case you missed it at the start of the show, folks. Phillips going for Arsenal, Newcastle, Liverpool, and Man United. Interesting. I just have a funny feeling about that Newcastle Brentford game. That's the one that's coming off the page at me going, that's where the upset could be. It's Newcastle this year as well. They've been kind of like good, bad. There's going to be a rotational thing with them. You haven't seen a lot of performance where it's been good, and finding their way and stuff like that. So they've struggled a little bit at times. But it'll be interesting to see. Damien Priest, Cousin Fergal, David and Jordan Devlin tag team championships tonight. We shall see. It'll be interesting to see. So that's it, folks. Just to let you know, tomorrow night is Pro Wrestling Weekly. We're going to be on from 8 o'clock. I'm going to do a review of Saturday night's main event. I have to say, I really enjoyed it. The nostalgia trip was different gravy altogether. We'll do our usual recap of Raw as well. And we'll also take a look at AEW World's End, which is starting to shape up. I know they normally do about 20 matches, but I think we have either 3 or 4 so far. So we'll take a quick look at them as well. Plus your usual wrestling history and all the rest of it, notable birthdays and any other topics that come up and stuff like that. We'll go through them as well as we add to them throughout the day. So join us 8 o'clock tomorrow night, obviously with the Liverpool game being on Wednesday. And then Thursday, we'll have Thursday Tier Talk with Darren. We look forward to another Premier League weekend, the final one before Christmas. And we'll have our usual round of Beat the Bookie, our bets and our tips. Try and win a few quid for the Christmas as well. So, folks, until next time, if you could subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification button. Really, really important. Drop a like on the way out, folks, if you haven't dropped a like already. It's those likes on the videos that make the difference on the views and spread the actual episodes out to the masses on YouTube and stuff like that. So really important that you're dropping all those likes as well. I will talk to you again real soon. Acers is rounding it out with a CM Punk pipe bomb promo tonight. Look forward to that as well. But until next time, folks, have a safe week, and we'll talk to you again real soon. Cheers.